Okay, so this pretty large box, at least for Raspberry Pis, arrived the other day, and it is from UCTRONICS, and it's a rack mount for a Raspberry Pi. And if I show you what the size of the box is compared to the Raspberry Pi, you can see that it's actually pretty big. So let's have a look inside. Oh, looks very nice. So if we pull this out, and it's pretty solid as well, it's obviously all metal. Is it all going to come out? That bracket looks like it's going to come out separately. Oh, it's these dials that are holding it in. And we've got these two brackets and some instructions. Now, not everybody's going to want to mount for Raspberry Pis together. You can use them individually, and the applications they're suggesting are for a Raspberry Pi NAS, so network attached storage, Pi-hole, which is like an internet security which blocks unwanted traffic on your system. Really impressive. I keep meaning to try Pi-hole and never tried it yet. Home Assistant server, Raspberry Pi Kubernetes cluster. So this is where you link up all 4 Raspberry Pis together and use their power as one. And they're saying the unique features of this is that it's an all-in-one solution. Also that they have LCD displays, which apparently other systems don't. Also supports safe shutdown. You can see they've got power buttons on each one right on the front there. And they're saying that there's enough room for PoE or other hats as well. So let's have a look. So how do these come out? Does that? Oh, that just unslots from there. So these are kind of spring mounted, and you can either use a screwdriver or you've got it's serrated, so you can use your fingers to secure it in place. So basically push that into place and twist that around, and that's going to lock it in. But there's also some other bits in here as well. Well, they're not going to come out that way. Let's take this off. So this is obviously all metal. Loads of wiring. And this looks like more display stickers. Not sure what they're for. A lot of little PCIe cables for the NVMe drives. And so these, I guess these are all 4 the same. Yeah, right. So there's 4 of these bags. A load of screws, some rubber feet as well. So I guess you could use it standalone. They did show pictures of it used standalone. So what's in this bubble wrapped bag? Oh, so this has a PCIe on it as well. So it looks like we're probably going to have spare PCIe's. You can see the NVMe slot here and the different sizes. So 2230, 2242 and 2280. So this is the millimeter length of it. So it looks pretty straightforward. It looks like this bit goes into here first. And it's going to be, yeah, that way round. So these are going to screw into the supports underneath. Then I need to secure the NVMe drive in, and I've just realised I need to put this on the base of it. So the NVMe is a little bit different to how you'd normally do it on a Pi. So if we pop that in here, and then this part is going to go here, and then that needs to be screwed in place from the underside with these tiny little NVMe screws. So that goes through there. Yeah, so that's in place. Right, let's try this bit again. And they talk about the screen in the instructions, but obviously you can see the screen is already in place, as is this power switch as well. And we've got individual connectors for it, so it doesn't look like I can get it the wrong way around. So there's only one way these can go in. Yeah, it's nice and easy. Tuck that in a bit. And the smaller cable for the power. Yeah, it's all pretty straightforward really. What if I'd be tempted to wrap it around here before I put the Pi on so that it stays within itself? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So it's definitely easier to put the PCIe cable in and then lock it in place before you screw the Pi in place. There we go. Yeah, that's gone in. So again, I'm going to wrap this around here just so that when you push and pull the drawers in and out, it's not going to make any difference. making sure it goes around those GPIO pins. So that's everything in place now, so nice and straightforward. And there's space on top for the official Raspberry Pi cooler, so there's plenty of room for that, and also the GPIO pins are clear as well. And they do also mention, because it's on the bottom of the Pi, there's space for the Power over Ethernet hat, which I have. And I'm just going to need the same sort of depth of standoffs to go on here. Okay, well I found 3, that one's a bit too long, so let's just go with 3 for now. And if I put them on the GPIO side, I think that's going to be the strongest. Not that it's going to move anywhere. And screw that in place. Yep, that's on. So let's pop that on. Okay, so that's all the screws in because I've got nothing in here. So just to reiterate, so I'm using the PoE hat to give it power over Ethernet, so I can power the Pi via the Ethernet connection. But the alternate would be to use the Raspberry Pi cooling, because there's plenty of space in there. And I have created a mess which I'm going to tidy up because I've got kittens. So let's have a look how this looks. So basically we're popping this in place, plenty of room, and then just push and screw in. And then obviously the lid would go on. It does look cool. And if I spin it around, we've got some fans, ports. There's nothing for the fans, but we've got fan ports here, so you could add extra cooling if you want. And also we've got connectivity for things like display and anything else you want to get in and out of that case. But I'm going to take it out of here because I want to test it on my desk, and this is rather big for my desk. Let's just unscrew that and that one and unslot that, so you can see nice neat package. And I have got in my desk a power over Ethernet switch, so this enables me to be able to power devices over an Ethernet cable. But I've set this up differently recently. Up here I've actually got a Wi-Fi extender, so this Wi-Fi extender goes into this little mini router, and then that gives me power over Ethernet, but also gives me Ethernet for my other devices, because the home plugs that I was using in here were working terribly, and this is much, much faster this way. So I plug this power over Ethernet into here, and let's plug into the front of this and power, and nothing happens. And it was at this point I realised I was using the wrong PoE hat. So this one is the one for Raspberry Pi 4 and 3B, and that's because of where the PoE slots are. So on a Pi 4, the PoE is here, but on a Pi 5, it's not, because we've got the fan connector there. They moved the PoE over to here, so it's a different power over Ethernet hat. So I'm not going to use the power over Ethernet hat because I haven't got one for a Pi 5. Although I do have one inside this EDITEC case, but this is one that's specially to fit inside this case. This is what should happen. So you can see I put it on a Pi 4 and it started to power up. I've got no SD card in there, but that's how it works. So imagine that, but for a Pi 5. So instead of power over Ethernet, I'm going to put the official fan in place. So that's the official setup with the Raspberry Pi fan. Let's plug in. So HDMI. Obviously you could use this headless as well. Put some power in there. See what happens with this official Raspberry Pi NVMe, because I've never used it before. Oh, nice, UCTRONICS is lit up. We've got a little status light down here as well. And it didn't boot from the NVMe, but I think that might be because I was using the wrong power socket. So I was using the normal Pi 5 power socket, but there's actually an extra one on the back here. So let's switch that on. Okay, my monitor's woken up. So press and hold shift to do net install. Okay, it's downloading the installer. Let's see if the storage shows up. Ah, it does see the NVMe drive. And it shows it as a Samsung drive. Right, so choose device, Raspberry Pi 5, choose OS, Raspberry Pi OS 64-bit, choose storage and the Samsung drive, and next. I won't apply any custom settings, and I'm happy to erase the drive. It is really cool, the net install. So it's basically puts the operating system downloaded into RAM and then it installs it onto your device. And this is a standard thing on Pi 4 and Pi 5. So the net install worked fine, and that's now performing the first time setup from the NVMe drive which is attached to the board. So let's see if we can get this display working. So there is a UCTRONICS GitHub, and this is the product, the RM0004. And if we scroll down, so we can copy this in and open a terminal and paste. Then we can copy this and paste that in. Add the automatic start script. So we'll say yes to restart. And it's restarted, and as you can see it's toggling through. It's got my IP address on here. It's telling me what disk usage, CPU usage, RAM usage, temperature, and you can see it's come up with shutdown. You can actually use the power button to shut it down. So if I close this, press the power button, you can see it comes shut down, reboot and log out. So it shut itself down safely, and now if I just press the power button, it switches on, UCTRONICS logo comes up, and it starts to boot the Pi. Yeah, I like that. It does seem to start up and then give you the shutdown options. Obviously I can uncheck that. The display springs to life and starts showing all the status. It's a good display, really bright. And if I disconnect my Ethernet, so it's going to switch over to my Wi-Fi, but I've set it up not with the local Wi-Fi in this room, but with the Wi-Fi a bit further away to see if it works like this, and also if it still works in the metal case. So my Wi-Fi is already saying it's pretty weak, 47%. So shut it down, pop it in the case, and just see what the Wi-Fi is like in that. I mean, people will be using Ethernet on this sort of thing, but I often do case reviews and people ask me about the Wi-Fi. So let's shut it down. Yeah, it definitely looks really nice in the case, and I do like that status display. Right, let's check the Wi-Fi. So it was 47 when it was out of the case, and it's 46 now, so pretty much the same, or 45 it just dropped to. Let's just check if the Wi-Fi is working. So if we go YouTube and 1080 and full screen, yeah, that's definitely working. So thanks very much to UCTRONICS for sending me this to test. It's a really impressive case, and I really ought to try and think of something I'm going to do with it. Okay, so I hope all this helps. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.